Welcome to the next part. Here I'm going to set balances, EQ, and start the mix. So here we go.
When what you preach makes no sense to me, how dare you stare and judge what you see? When we're the same now, you and me.
Here I trim the tracks.
Show me
I
love.
get a good level out of the mix bus. That isn't too hot. And you see I need to take the level down about 8 dB on each track to get it working. I aim about -6 decibel full scale in the peaks, as you can see on my master fader.
When we're the same now, you and me.
Here I see a little problem with the guitars. Because sometimes these guitars plays as doubled and sometimes it's only one guitar. And I will try to solve that by adding a track. So when the guitar is solo, it's up in the middle, and when it's plays another part, it's hard pan left and right with the other guitars that plays the same thing. Because I don't necessarily want to process them the same way because they're different parts. And first I worked on the wrong guitar. So I have grouped the two double tracks so I can cut every time they play the part I'm gonna hard pan. So this is a thing arrangement-wise that I already know needs to be addressed for me to best mix the song.
Show me love. Cause your hate only drives me away. Why can't you see? Why can't you see? Show me some love, you so openly speak. Then maybe there. Show me love. Show me love. Whoa. Show me love. Whoa. Cause your hate only. Why can't you see that you're hurting me? That you're cause you're hate for me to believe. When what you preach makes no sense to me. How dare you stare and judge what you see?
Here I adjust the volume, the clip gain volume, because I think the guitars are a bit soft. I'm subgrouping the different vocal parts.
Then maybe then I'll come openly.
Checking the phase on the kicks and snare, and it actually seems like the kicks and snare are better out of phase. As you can see by little blue dots, I engage the phase button. Here I prepare a kick sample and a snare sample. because I know I'm probably gonna use it, and then I put the samples tracks in the snare folder. So I just have one snare group. So I can easily process all the snare hits as one snare rather than many different snare tracks. If I want to.
How dare you stare and judge what you see? When we're the same now, you and me. Show me when we're the same. Show me love, then maybe then I'll come openly. Show me love, whoa. Show me love, whoa.
So now I'm gonna check what the other guitars are doing, the solos and stuff.
Maybe then I'll come up. Whoa, show me love. Whoa, show me love. Whoa, show me love. Whoa, show me love. Whoa.
Now I'm gonna start working on some stuff that are poking through to me, and after that I'm gonna do the top-down mixing. So I'm fixing stuff that I think needs to be fixed, and then I'm gonna start processing the master. And yeah. So here I put the gate on the kick, because I didn't really like the bleed. So here I actually turn up the volume on my monitor so I can hear a little bit better what the bass is doing. So you should do it at home as well, maybe. I'm not aiming at making the best kick drum sound, just the best that this kick drum can be, without over-processing. I really like what soft clipping does to drums. So I'm just shaping this kick drum so it sounds natural and the best that it can be. I'm actually feeling a bit pressure when I did this because I'm recording it. So you kind of second guess yourself with the EQ and stuff, so. The snare bottom seems to be out of phase. The snare sounds pretty good, but you can always EQ the close mics generally. I'm making a group for the overheads. Kind of misclicked the group, but I'll figure it out in a second. And now I realize I need to feed the overheads to the drum groups and disable the separate drum groups, separate overhead tracks. This is a little bit new workflow for me, so I realize that the sound doesn't change. So we're back on track, and I'm gonna saturate them with the soft clipper. Pump up the sound, but still sound natural. That's what I enjoy with soft clipping. It pumps it up, but it still sounds natural. I'm figuring out the bass level a little bit. If you rewind back, you can see how when I raised the volume with the soft clipper, that gain didn't at all sound like the gain when I'm just raising the volume on the fader. Here I'm just adding some global effects that I like to introduce early. This is a dimension D, and it's a chorus, and I'm gonna add a verb. So I add this because I know I like the effect they have, and why not introduce them early globally so I can mix into them. So here is the whole mix going through the effect. Without. Just the music going through it, yeah. I'm sending from the brown groups at the right to it. So bass and music currently running through it. It adds some dimension.
That you're hurting me, that you're hurting me. Why can't you see?
And this is where the mixing part begins.
That you're hurting me.
For real.
Yeah.
Looking for the right type of verb for the vocals. That everything so it's gonna run through. I think this is some kind of EMT plate. And now I'm gonna send everything into that reverb.
That you're hurting me. Why can't you see that you're hurting me? That you're hurting me. Yeah. Show me love.
Doing some level again to the B3 and trumpets and trombones. So now I'm received a balance that I'm happy with overall. And I'm going to get to my bus processing, to my top-down mix process. And this is subtle moves. But will help me with the overall mix. Now I'm going to EQ the sides. And I can be quite artistic in this instance because it's so early in the mix, and I will mix into these changes. I will be pretty subtle, but it's an opportunity to shape the sound. Now I'm gonna add some parallel compression to everything, and this is multi-mono, so I'm sending the left side to one track and the right side to another track. So these two tracks perfectly represent the mix bus. I'm gonna parallel compress them hard with the FG stress. I don't really know what I'm doing here, I just wanna make it sound cool. I'm gonna experiment because this is not supposed to sound good in isolation. I put them to pre-fader descend, so if I reduce the volume of my mix bus, the input won't get lowered to the compressors, they will stay the same. So I can gain staged everything. I open the attack a bit so I get more punch, because the attacks lets through a bit more. Here the pan knobs doesn't really matter because they only go out one side.
Show me love, whoa. Show me love, whoa.
So now I'm ready to start mix the individual tracks in groups. Here is without any master processing. And that was all for this this segment, and